What up, fam? It's your boy, Slenderboy 2024, streaming to you live, filming this dumpster because I saw an equally trash movie. The stench, oh my god, fam. The stench of this garbage is actually very, very strong, but I will endure. I will endure. It's good because it'll inspire me to make a shorter video for once. I know the JoJo the JoJo Siwa video went on too long. This video I'm going to try and keep it short, even though the movie I saw certainly wasn't short. Oh my god, Joker Folie a Deux, more like Folie a Don't. Am I the first person to make that joke on YouTube? I think so. Folie a Don't. That movie, oh my god. The first Joker, I liked it a lot. I rewatched it recently. I like it even more on a second watch. It was tight. It was a tight script. Director Todd Phillips, he kept it, I think it was exactly 2 hours or damn near close. Very tight script. You know, it didn't overstay its welcome. He had a small budget, but it made $1 billion freaking dollars. Okay, small budget. This one much bigger budget. I think it was like a $200 million budget. Oh my god! And this movie's going to lose so much money. It'll be a miracle if this movie even breaks even, guys. This movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes long, and you feel every single minute of it. Oh my god, this movie's a disaster. We've had a lot of stinkers this year. I'd have to like think about it, like what's like the worst movie of the year. We've had Madam Web, we've had Borderlands, you know what else, but yeah, Joker Folie a Don't. Yeah, this is up there. I could rewatch Madam Web. I could rewatch Borderlands. Those are both kind of short. I think those are both like only 2 hours long. That's where I'm go. Like seriously, it's so bad. I have to go by runtime at this point because there have been so many shitty movies this year. But no, Folie a Deux. It's just so long. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes, and it's a musical. I hate musicals. I hated this movie, chat. I hated this movie. Oh my god, I had to see this movie. I heard such terrible things, such wild things about this movie, and I was curious. I had to like kind of see it for myself. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. I want to like, you know, make a funny video, kind of, you know, compile my thoughts. But no, it was rough. It was really rough. I heard stories about empty theaters, about people like leaving the theater, people demanding their money back, people being very unhappy and unsatisfied with the movie. Yeah, like I saw this on an IMAX screen on a Saturday night, a big ass IMAX theater, and it was so sad. Like I looked around in this empty theater. I counted. There were 6 other people with me seeing this big DC, you know, movie on a Saturday night. It's a disaster. It's a tragedy. It'll be a miracle if it makes its money back. And I heard that this kind of made me happy, but I heard that the Terrifier movie, Terrifier 3 is out right now. This indie horror movie. It's kind of blowing up for an indie horror. I heard that it's like doing better than Joker, which, yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Same thing with a couple weeks back when they re-released Coraline. There was like a whole thing, people writing articles about how like all the other movies were sucking so bad that Coraline's release was like doing well in the box office. Like it was like topping the charts. It was beating out like, well, what else was playing at the time? Borderlands, the Crow remake. I forgot about that. The Crow remake, that sucked too. So like, yeah, when the competition is this awful, like yeah, Coraline can rise above. You know, same thing with this. Like Terrifier 3 is, you know, it's moment. That was its weekend to shine because Joker 2 was its competition, and you know, no one's seeing that. So, oh my god, I've heard such wild things about this. So this movie, it had a much bigger budget. I want to say like a $200 million budget. It'll be a miracle if it breaks even. And no one wanted this movie. Like the director, like it's so clear that the original was a standalone film, and no one wanted to do a sequel. Todd Phillips blatantly, openly, I believe, said that he didn't want to do a sequel. Because the story wrapped itself up. You know, he became the Joker at the end, and like that was it. But then, like I said, WB saw dollar signs because the first Joker, it kind of blew up. It made $1 billion freaking dollars worldwide. So there's gonna be another one. So they forced Todd Phillips to make another one, and it was a disaster. It was a complete disaster. So some interesting things I've read about recently. Supposedly, the idea for this movie came to Joaquin Phoenix in a dream. Like Joaquin also has like a writing credit on this movie, and apparently like this movie was intentionally not made for an audience, or like with the audiences not in mind. You know, it subverts our, you know, where have we heard this before? It subverts your audience expectations. Like it's not what people are, you know, expecting to see or, you know, want to see. and the quote unquote that makes it good because it's so avant-garde or different or subverts our expectations anyway. But yeah, I think someone was quoted saying that this is a movie made by Joaquin Phoenix for Joaquin Phoenix, and like, yeah, I can see that. Kind of a vanity project, kind of like a bullshit art house, vanity project that no one will enjoy, or at least mainstream audiences won't enjoy. Todd Phillips, the director, he reportedly secluded himself on like his private ranch on the opening weekend of of the movie, so that no one could reach him, no one could like contact Todd. He didn't want to know. He didn't want to know how the movie, like, because he knew it was gonna bomb. Like you could tell, he didn't want to be left alone. He wanted to like go into hiding basically because he knew this movie was gonna bomb, and like he didn't want anyone to like talk to them about it. Oh my lord. Okay, let's this is going to be a totally spoiler filled review, so I'm just going to talk, because you want my thoughts, my pre-spoiler thoughts. Like, yeah, don't go see it, it's not worth it. Just watch the first movie again. That movie benefits from multiple viewings. It's super interesting. There's so much going on in that movie under the surface. In this sequel, there's like nothing going on. It's crazy. It's crazy how much time they waste. Like it's crazy. You know how like a lot of movies have that like it was all a dream ending, and it pisses you off because you're like, well, that was a total waste of time. Like none of it really happened. That's kind of this. It's not even like the ending of the movie. That's like the whole movie is it was all a dream. Like for example, I don't know. It's like they were trying to like in the first movie, for example. One of the twists that I really liked was with Zazie Beetz' character. I think her character's name was Sophie, but Joker's neighbor that he like kind of had this like cliche Hollywood romance with, and at first you're watching and you're like, oh, this is like kind of cliche, or like a little hard to believe that he started up this romance with his neighbor all of a sudden. No, the movie flashes back at the end and shows the Joker's just delusional. Like, she was never in any of those scenes, like, because he eventually breaks into her apartment and she's like, who the hell are you, are you that guy across the hall? And it's like, okay, it all becomes clear, like, no, he just, he never asked her out, like, it was all a delusion. So I feel like they were trying to do something like that with this one, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't have like the same impact, and it wasn't done even half as efficiently or cleverly as it was in the first movie. Anyway, so the second movie picks right up after the first. Joker has become Joker. He's murdered a bunch of people. He's on it's okay. Here's the thing. If you watch this movie, it's not a superhero movie. It's not even really a Joker movie. Okay, you have to be ready for this movie. Is 50% musical numbers that go nowhere, that have no purpose at all, that are complete, dream sequence bullshit. 50% of that, and then 50% of this like boring ongoing trial. Do you like legal dramas? Do you like musicals? If you don't like either of those things like me, then it's going to be torture for you. It's going to be pure torture. Because that's what this movie is. And okay, so with musicals, like, yeah, there's a couple that I like. Like, I liked the West Side Story remake by Steven Spielberg, but even that actually kind of bombed. Like, again, musicals are kind of out the door. Like it's so hard to get people to show up for a musical. Like, it's rare. And case in point, people heard it. Like, people didn't show up for this because the people that knew it was a musical didn't show up because they didn't, the first one wasn't. So like it's really weird that they chose to do that for the sequel, but whatever. And the people who didn't know, because trust me, I watched the trailer. The trailer did such a good job of hiding the fact that this is a musical. Like, it like hints at it, but barely. But like, no, like, it doesn't seem like it's a musical. No. Like this movie is a musical. Like, you have to like be on board for that. And the people who didn't know that are watching the movie, and they got so pissed off as soon as people like start singing and shit and dancing and shit, and they're like, I want my, they turn around and they want their money back. Like, that's how much people don't like musicals these days. The only one that might have a chance, I know in November the Wicked movie's coming out. We'll see. I mean, I think that will do well because people love the book, people love the original stage musical. And it has the star power of Ariana Grande behind it. I mean, I don't know. This movie had the star power of Lady Gaga behind it, and look how that did. Look how this did. We'll see. Wicked might be like the one musical that actually does well for once, but this certainly didn't. Yeah, I mean, they obviously spent a lot of money on this. Like the musical numbers, they're very flashy. You know, they're very expensive. You know, it's just this movie is like purely. It's like lighting. It's like watching people light money on fire. That's what this movie like. They're and Todd. That's what Todd went. Poor Todd. Todd went to his man cave. Todd went to hiding opening weekend because he knew that this was just like a $200 million punchline. That's what people are calling it. It's like a $200 million joke. Like he knew that the studio wouldn't make the money back. Like he's just lighting money on fire for this vanity project for Joaquin Phoenix. But yeah, all the musical numbers, like they obviously spent a lot of money. Like they're very flashy, they're very colorful. You know, so there's that. Lady Gaga, obviously she's a singer in real life, so like yeah, she really shines. I'm sure I didn't see her having like a writer's credit on this movie, but like I'm sure she had some input, and like yeah, I'm sure she was like, oh yeah, like give me like another musical number because I'm really good at singing. You know who's not really good at singing? That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like, and that's why like you know the first Joker movie worked. The second Joker movie, we're gonna have like a musical about Joker. Can Joker sing? That's debatable. Joaquin does his best. He kind of like whispers and mumbles for. He kind of like cheats a little bit. Like he's not always like quite quote unquote singing per se. He's more like humming a tune. Like, oh my lord. And this whole stupid thing, like it all starts. Okay, so this all starts. Joker's in prison, and there's like these prison guards that bully him and shit. But like there's one that he's like kind of buddies with, and the one that he's buddies with like is musical himself. Like he likes to hum and whistle and hum tunes. And Joker is in like the shitty like whatever F ward for like the really dangerous people, but over in the B ward for like the less dangerous people, they have like their little choir rehearsal or whatever. And the security guard, or excuse me, the prison guard wants he gets Joker into that class as basically as an excuse for the prison guard to like also like join in on the singing, because Joker can't really sing. Like I don't know, like it's all because they're like literally they're just like walking down the hall, and Joker like peeks in and he sees Harley Quinn, Lady Gaga singing, and she does the same like finger gun to head thing that like I didn't catch it like from the trailer. I didn't like catch it, but like it's a callback to Zazie Beetz' character Sophie. Like she did the same thing. So yeah, this movie really repeats a lot of beats of the first movie. It flashes back to the first movie. It retells the first movie. It's like 2.5 hours of treading water. Like seriously, like so little happens in this movie. It's crazy, and it's longer than the first movie. It's 2.5. It's like basically 2.5 hours, and nothing happens. You want to know what happens? There's a trial. Arthur's on trial for killing all those people, and he's convicted because he did. like he did. The only argument, basically, they try to make an argument. What's her name? Catherine Keener is his lawyer. She's good. I always like her in everything I see her in. But she's his lawyer. She's like the only sympathetic character. She's like genuinely trying to help Arthur out. Like she feels bad for him. Like when the prison guards are making him march through the rain, she's like, "You didn't even give him an umbrella or like a coat." And she literally takes the coat off of her back and gives it to like she's the one in this like grimdark movie / world where like everyone's just an asshole. Everyone's like evil. Everyone's out for themselves. Gotham is just a cesspool of like crime. And everyone's like self-interested and evil. Like no, like and corrupt. No. She's like the one she was never corrupt. Like she was just doing her job. She was just a good person. She felt bad for Arthur, and she literally gave him the jacket off of her back. So of course he dismisses her. Like, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, like so her whole thing is she's trying to prove, and like let me rewind. Let me rewind. So the one part of the movie I really like, I actually really love the intro of this movie. Again, they clearly spent a lot of money on this movie. The movie opens up with a cartoon. It opens up with a Joker cartoon, like, and it's in that style of like an old time Warner Brothers Looney Tunes cartoon. It's great. It's great. And it's called Joker's Shadow, and it flashes back to the end of the first movie, and it shows how basically it shows like Joker's shadow, his doppelganger, ties up Arthur and throws him in the closet, and then Joker's shadow rather, Joker goes out on stage and kills Murray and does all that horrible stuff, and it ties into Catherine Keener's argument. But yeah, they clearly spent a lot of money on that cartoon. Like they clearly spent a lot of money on this movie. It's a great cartoon. Like so, like yeah, if you can find a clip of that online or something, that's great. Check that out. But yeah, that's Catherine Keener's whole argument is that there are two Jokers. He has a split personality. There's Arthur, and then Arthur has a psychotic break, and he turns into Joker and does all those horrible things because they're so different they can't possibly be the same person, right? So that's what she's going with, and that's the defense they try to make, and then. I actually had to go to the bathroom, so I missed, it's a freaking 2.5-hour movie. It's like, I had to go to the bathroom at some point. So I went to the bathroom, and I missed something. When I come back, he has already dismissed her as his lawyer, and now he's representing himself. And this is where, like, things really take a turn. Like, because the judge keeps on saying, like, I don't want this to turn into a circus, or, I will have order in my courthouse, blah, blah, blah. And yet, it's totally unbelievable. Like, there's no way this mentally unstable guy, I don't know what the rules are for, like, representing yourself in court if you can't find a lawyer, but it's like this dude who's, like, on trial for murder, who's obviously mentally unstable, like, criminally insane, he's allowed to be his own lawyer. He's even, the judge even allows him, he's like, yeah, you can do whatever you, basically, he's like, I won't allow you to turn this into a circus, but yeah, if you want to wear your clown makeup, like that, he's like, yeah, he lets Arthur dress up as because he's like, well, I'm Joker, like that's who I am. So the judge is like, yeah, if you want to wear your Joker outfit and makeup, like that's fine. Like, I'm like, no judge would allow that. Like, are you kidding me? But yeah, Arthur fully embraces his Joker persona and all of that. They bring back like a kind of a greatest hits of characters from the first movie. He interviews Gary Puddles. He makes like a big deal about Gary's last name being Puddles. Gary was like the little midget guy from the first movie. That's if you can find a clip of that, like the Gary scene. That's like the one good scene in the movie where Joker is talking to Gary, and Gary, gets pretty tearful, and he's like, Arthur, you imagine how I feel. Like you were the one person that was good to me. It's so painful for me to see you like this. It's such a betrayal, and you can tell that Arthur was emotionally affected for once because he's saying, no further questions, Your Honor, and Gary keeps talking. He's like, I said no further questions, Your Honor. He's like, no further questions, Your Honor. He's like really freaking out. For once, like he's emotionally affected. And that goes does that like affect the change? No, like that scene ends and then it's, back to normal. Like, it might as well not have happened. Like, not. They interview Zazie Beetz. I was not expecting to see her again. I had to rewatch the first one. I thought Arthur killed her and her daughter, but I was wrong. He just like kind of showed up and freaked her out and then left, and that was it. But yeah, I did not expect to see her again, and like she kind of goes in, and her scene's pretty good too. That actress is wonderful, but she doesn't have much to do here. But yeah, she goes into how Arthur just by having like slight tertiary contact with him, he kind of ruined her life too, because she had to move away, and she was like involved in the big scandal with Arthur and all of that, like, and she even says like, oh, like, why didn't I wish I called the cops on you that day when you broke into my apartment. If I had done that, maybe you wouldn't have been able to kill all those people. And then she talks about this is the part that didn't make sense to me, because like she like literally all of that shit with her and Arthur was in Arthur's head, right? There was no romance, and no one even knows about that except Arthur, like the delusions. So like she doesn't know about that, no one else knows about that. But then she talks about how like Arthur's fans, like his Joker acolytes, they all like hate her, and they all harass her, and they all blame her for his incarceration. Like what? How did they even know about him breaking into her apartment? Like what? But she says how like she and her daughter had to go into hiding. They had to move away. He ruined their lives or whatever, because everyone blames her for what happened to him. Like I really didn't understand that at all. Maybe there's something I didn't catch there. I was kind of tuning out at that point. Like, this movie really, like, I couldn't handle all these courtroom scenes. They were, again, this movie, it goes back and forth between two things I equally hate in equal measure: musical numbers and courtroom drama scenes. It's just so bad. But yeah, the musical numbers, it's just like, I don't know. It's the thing I hate in musicals, where like, can't people just talk? Like, why do you have to sing? But yeah, Joker starts falling in love with Harley, so he has to sing, and they have to dance, and all this bullshit, and then it'll like snap back to reality, and it's like, oh yeah, none of that happened. Like none of that happened. Like now we're back to like real life where nothing's happening, and it's like, oh okay, so there's just a huge waste of time, right? Thanks, thanks movie. I would say, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I would say over half of this movie didn't happen. Like, over half of this movie is just bullshit dream sequence, musical number bullshit. So that's great. That's great. Oh, I barely talked about Harley Quinn. I guess I should. So, yeah, Lady Gaga, I actually like her as an actress. I think she does well in this movie, but it's one of those things like Joaquin's Joker is not Joker. He's not the DC Comics Joker that I'm so familiar with. In the same way, Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn is not Harley Quinn. I mean, she's an interesting character in her own right, but no, there is almost nothing here recognizable about the character. Okay, and again, I'm gonna go balls deep into spoilers, so here we go. But it's like she's a liar. She's in the same prison, and then she starts this romance with Joker, and she's like, oh, you inspired me, and I came from the same bad neighborhood, and I burned down my apartment, and my father is dead, and like I was poor too, and all of this bullshit. It was all a lie. He finds out it was all a lie. Harley is actually rich. She comes from money. Her parents are still alive. She is a doctor. She is a psychologist, like in the comics, but it's like a quick throwaway line. We never see that. We never see any of that. It's like a quick throwaway line. But what she is she's like someone that's kind of obsessed with fame. She wants fame for herself. She's obsessed with Joker, but Joker is kind of just a means to an end for her, right? And that was kind of interesting. And there's this one musical number / dream sequence where Joker and Harley, they're on like this variety show or whatever, and they're in their makeup and they're dancing, and Harley starts to kind of take the rate, like she kind of takes the spotlight and starts singing all by herself, and Joker gets mad and he's like, hey, you stole the spotlight, and then she just pulls out a gun and shoots him. And it's like foreshadowing. Yeah, Harley wants it all for herself. She's just using Joker, and that's 100% part of. So she sleeps with him, and then she claims that she is pregnant with his child. And again, so it's like it's all a means to an end. Now she has Joker's baby inside of her. So it's like again just a way to further her own, not career, but her own popularity, her own publicity. I'm still unclear. I know. I guess it's a thing of like, oh, she's just rich, so she can do anything. But it's like I don't really know how she just like admitted herself into Arkham and then unadmitted herself, and somehow she was able to find Joker in solitary and sleep with him. Like I guess she paid off the guards, but like it's all whatever. Doesn't really add up, but like whatever. But again, like so. Like the whole thing with Harley and Joker in the comics is she was his psychiatrist. He seduced her. She went crazy. She fell in love with him and became completely devoted to him. Whereas here, it's more she is manipulating him. She doesn't love him at all. In fact, it's pretty clear she's ready to discard him as soon as she doesn't need him anymore. And that's really what was built up. That's what they were building towards with the ending. Again, they need to subvert our expectations, aka the ending can't be something that makes sense or is foreshadowed properly. It has to be a surprise. That's what good storytelling is. It's when it surprises you out of nowhere, when it's not built up at all or explained at all. So what should have happened, or what would have made sense to happen is, Joker at the very end of the movie, even though he clearly became Joker at the end of the first movie, like this movie kind of backtracks. It's like, oh no, he wasn't quite Joker yet. He was still Arthur, and then they like throw out the whole idea of like, oh, maybe there's two Arthurs. Like there's Arthur and there's no. Arthur fesses up to everything. He's like, no, there is no Arthur or Joker. There's only me. I mean, yeah, I'm Arthur. There is no Joker. I take full responsibility. He's convicted of the crimes. He's sentenced to the death penalty. It's a conclusion we saw coming 1,000 fucking miles away, but somehow this movie's 2.5 hours long. But anyway, so then Harley's all pissed off because he didn't live up to her expectations of him. He's not the symbol of chaos or whatever that she wanted. So this would have this should have been the part where she just like pulls out a gun and shoots him, but no, she just kind of sings and they break up or whatever in the end, and then so he goes back to prison. And then there's this guy, and we've you're watching the movie. This is not a named character. This is not a character that interacts with Joker or anyone else or has any spoken line of dialogue. There's a character in the prison, and like there's a couple times in the movie where it's only, I think it's twice it happens, where the camera will just suddenly pan over to this guy and he's like smiling, and it's like there's like dramatic music like dun 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 dun, and you're like, oh, like who was that? Okay, never mind, we quickly panned away. So this is the guy who at the very end he like corners Joker in the hallway, stabs him with a knife, kills him, and then he starts to carve a smile onto his face, a la Heath Ledger, and he starts to like laughing the same crazy Joker laugh, and so it's implied that Arthur never was the real Joker, quote unquote, and maybe this guy is the real Joker. And what I was reading is that this was like Todd Phillips's big middle finger. This was his way of basically saying like it's like, he doesn't want to do Joker 3 for sure, and he needed to like literally kill Arthur off in order to make sure like even if this movie somehow makes money again, like it's over, Arthur's dead. I mean, I guess we could do another movie about like that Joker, but no one wants to see like who was that, like no one wants to see that. Harley's still around, I think, but she kind of sucked too. She didn't really do anything. I mean, I think the baby thing was a lie. Like she didn't do anything. She like slept with Joker. She propped him up, I guess. She kind of got people riled up, sort of, but she really didn't do anything. She even said like there's a good moment when they're arguing. She's like, well, I haven't done anything. Like I need to be like you. I want like people to like look up to me like they look up to you. Okay, but she didn't, like what did she do? Like when, spoilers again, but like at the end of the trial, these like Joker faced guys blow up the wall, like they drive a car bomb into the courthouse, and they rescue Joker, but she had no part in that. Even like she didn't do that. She didn't do anything. Like what did she do? Like this movie was such a this is a fucking waste of time. This movie was such a fucking waste of time. I couldn't believe it. Fam. All right. Yeah. Is there anything else? I'm trying to think. I mean, is that guy at the end supposed to be Heath Ledger's Joker? Like literally? I don't know. I feel like Joker. Yeah. He doesn't do anything in this movie. It's crazy. Like it's like I guess because he chooses to be Arthur. But Arthur doesn't, people wanted, and again, this is like the anti-audience, like subverting your expectations. We want to see a Joker movie because it's called Joker. Well, guess what? You get Arthur. Yeah, I mean, even in the first movie, he kind of, like, he would snap. He killed multiple people. He even killed his mom. He stabbed the shit out of Randall, I think his name was. You would think, like, no, he doesn't do anything in this movie. Even when the one prison guard who turns on him out of nowhere, he has like a little friend, and the prison guard kills his friend. You think like maybe that's the moment when Joker's gonna snap and like at least kill. He doesn't kill anyone in this movie. He doesn't kill the prison guards that constantly abuse and berate him. No, he doesn't do anything. So yeah, that sucked. It was boring. It wastes your time. The musical numbers are bad, and Joaquin Phoenix can't sing. it's such a recipe for disaster. Let's have a musical where the main character can't even sing. Let's have a Harley Quinn story where she's not even Harley Quinn. She's like the complete opposite of Harley Quinn. She doesn't love a Joker at all. she's just a glory hound. She's like I get it. They were trying to do like one of those like girls that are like obsessed with serial killers, like the girls that were like obsessed with Ted Bundy. But like, why did you have to do that with Harley Quinn? Like that's not her at all. Like I love anything DC. I love these characters, but like this is such like an unrecognizable version of these characters that I don't know, man. Yeah, like you can find it on streaming. Like watch that cartoon at the beginning. There's a couple of good scenes, like I said at the trial, but otherwise, yeah, skip this. This is a huge bomb. Folie à deux. Folie à deux.